engineers need to stay close to the problem. Lean teams could do mean things. It's a great time for research-led company building. Google DeepMind, Anthropic's, a lot of these frontier AI companies are research-led. Within first few weeks of spending time in Freshworks, I knew what all wrongs we were doing while running Airwoot. And how an organization creates products, it is all up for reset now. There are so many interesting problems to solve today. If you have the right mental models of how the world works, and then you ask the customer what you want, you'll be able to filter the right things and give them what they want.
Python or Java?
Python is my go-to programming.
Okay. Most overhyped tech trend?
Has to be the crypto era. AI to me is a very real hype.
Today we have Saurabh Arora. Saurabh co-founded Plum HQ. He's the CTO of Plum HQ. Saurabh has also co-founded Airwoot, which got acquired by Freshworks. Interestingly, Saurabh was a researcher. Saurabh, I have a lot of questions for you on that before you did your startup. Welcome to the talk. First question for you, Saurabh. Your profession is like super interesting. There is research, there is startup, and you also did product and not just tech. Very curious. Tell me how this started from college, and how did you make this move from research to startups?
No, absolutely. And thank you for having me here, Jeet. Great to be here. I did my double masters in Europe. It's a European Union India scholarship program. It's called Erasmus Mundus. And this allows you to study in 2 universities and do your masters. So I chose.
You get 2 degrees?
And you get dual degrees.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I started at KTH, which is Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden, Stockholm, and then moved to Denmark Technical University in Copenhagen. And then went on to start my PhD in Berlin, and I dropped out of my PhD. But my a quick background of how I went into this idea of research as well is that my father is a first generation entrepreneur, and he was a research scientist in DRDO, and he was working on Agni missile. Then at later point in his career, he moved to Delhi. At some point, he got frustrated with the government job, started on his own company. And I had seen my father, and then my brother also joined him, build a business with his acquired knowledge from his research scientist days, and then failing in his business, and then growing again. And I had seen these 2-3 cycles while I was growing up in childhood. And somehow it didn't scare me. It made me a lot more excited for what an entrepreneurship can do. Seeing our families' lives changing from lower middle class to something which we could afford, and then collapsing again. And I've seen banks standing in front of our homes asking us to leave the home as well. Which made me accept this idea of risk taking. So when I was building out on my career path, my father wanted me to come join his business. And while I was charting out my path, I thought I'm going more on the technical side. And I thought if I could go and spend a lot of time in building that skill set, and then at some point use that skill set to come back and do an entrepreneurship, which was sort of part of the family upbringing. So that was a clear set plan, that go do your masters, pick up a PhD, go deep into a research topic, and then build a company out of that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So when I took up the PhD, this was at Hasso-Plattner, Berlin, in Potsdam. The Hasso-Plattner is an institute which is a founder of SAP SAP. And so they have built an institute for research for PhD and a venture wing, which is Hasso-Plattner Ventures. So they sort of pick up the research projects from the institute and then start funding them as a venture wing. So this was pretty exciting institute setting for me. I went in, dropped out in 2 years. I was working on really, really boring German government security projects, and this is my trigger point was that I wanted to work fast, and I was not able to get that environment. So I started spending a lot of time at Hasso-Plattner Venture Wing, and picked up some off projects. Started building a team there. A designer, a Ruby on Rails developer, a product manager, me, and we started conceptualizing an idea there. I think it was ahead of our time. We were not able to crack it, and on paper it was great, but our execution failed. But this was so exciting for me to build a team and try out something that I never looked back at my PhD. Dropped out of the PhD. Didn't continue this project in Berlin, but came back to India. And this is when I started my last company that was called Airwoot.
No, I want to know about, so how do I pronounce this? Hasso-Plattner.
Hasso-Plattner. Hasso-Plattner. Plattner.
Is it the only university that sort of has said, hey, research to commercialization as a...
Yeah, I think, especially in Europe, it was very unheard because the European premier institutes like in Germany would be a Max Planck.
Yes, that's
in fact, the ones where I studied for my master's, Denmark Technical University is a very formal mathematical security verification kind of a university, very maths-heavy university. KTH, which is the Royal Institute of Technology, was frontier in network technologies. The Nordic countries were really far ahead in the 3G, 4G, and then the pushing for the 5G era. The Ericssons, etc., is all from Nordic countries.
Japan, but okay.
My informed knowledge at that time was the Nordics was the frontier on mobile tech. And but this was a pretty untraditional setup. And sort of my playbook that I wanted to do, which is do something on the institute and explore something with the venture. I failed, but it allowed me to take a step and eventually start a company.
So you didn't end up doing the deep research. But there is still some researcher in you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How does that affect your life in Plum and lives of people around you?
Look, I think the starting point, whether you're starting a company or you're starting a research, is the same. You start with a hypothesis.
Yes, correct.
You're on a blank state. You write down your hypothesis and then you start experimenting. So that research element is very, very ingrained in me, that I always start with a hypothesis and then prove or disprove. Now, in startups, what happens is that the pace of execution is vastly different from a research.
Yes, correct.
And the ability for you to create something like a product and then get it into the hands of a customer and then create a feedback loop and then chase something what we call as product market fit, where whether there are some customers who truly love what you have built and they are ready to pay a price for the value that they are getting. I think that feedback loop generation is really fast in startup, and this is where then the research in startup differs, but they start at the same place, a hypothesis.
So why don't I see more researchers doing startup? I do see researchers joining startups and research labs.
I think it's a great time for research-led company building. And you would see this now that, even if you look at the AI wave today, the whole OpenAI's talent pools there is a huge amount of talent pool which are researchers now in those companies. Google DeepMind, Anthropics, a lot of these frontier AI companies are research-led.
Correct.
So we are going to see back that focus of that you go into your PhD and then you spin off a company from there.
Google did start as
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
spin-off of a PhD,
Absolutely.
but haven't seen many happening after that.
Yeah, I think we are going to see this back again now.
Makes sense. At least the frontier AI has given plenty of examples there.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
That brings me to your startup, Airwoot. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
And how do you see this in the new LLM market, in new LLM era?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I can tell you the inception time of Airwoot as well, and that was also pretty much a research-led journey. And maybe I'll take a little longer to give you a backstory to that backstory as well, which is, when I was back in India, I started by joining my father's one of the company he was running for outdoor advertisements. It was one of his new venture, and I was working under a manager who he had hired. And one of the projects that came to this company was from Intel and HT Media at that time. And they wanted to do an activation for a Diwali campaign in Ambience Mall. But they wanted to do a physical activation. And they wanted some digital interplay of humans and interacting with technology. So we gave them some ideas. They went across the market. And then they came back just a week before Diwali, and they gave the order to us. And now I had a week, and it was a little ambitious idea. We had to set up a huge digital screen, and we had a concept that there'll be a diya inside, a Dipavali diya inside it, and people can send an SMS, and the diya would lit up as the SMSs are growing. An online equivalent of that as well, a Facebook app, people can send likes, and then the likes would lit up the diya. And then some local interactions for people who are passing on the mall and looking at the screen, that they can blow into a box, and based on how strong your wind blow is, a rocket goes into the screen on the intensity upper or down. Some photo booth experience, so a bunch of things together, but we had just 7 days. So I looked at my network and I said who I can call for help. And so I started pulling out kids or anyone who I had worked before. A guy called Prabhat, who was my friend in Denmark Technical University. He had dropped out of his PhD. He was roaming around in India. I called him in, a 16-year-old whiz-kid Python programmer, a Flash app developer, a designer. So I assembled a quick team of about 4 or 5 people. We worked overnights and we launched it. This was maybe about a 50 lakhs kind of a project. But the excitement of those 7 days was so high. And I thought, look, I know what I want now. I want to pick 2-3 people from this team and start a company. And then we'll figure out what to do in that company. But let me pick some people from here. So I picked these 2 people, Prabhat and Rishabh, which was a young 16-year-old guy. And I took up a shed, a warehouse in DCE, close to NSIT in Dwarka. And I had a professor friend there. And some of his kids from the professor had helped us build that sensor for blowing as well.
Yeah.
So it was a team of some interns from NSIT as well. And so we started 3 of us in this sort of a warehouse setting next to NSIT. And we had 9 interns from this Professor Dhananjay, who used to handle the electronics and IT department there. And we started on 3 hypotheses. Each one of us picked up one hypothesis. One hypothesis was real-time guitar tablatures. So anybody can come play guitar, open the app, and this app will record all the tablatures and record it in a nice way for anybody to replicate those tablatures. Second project was quality of your voice. And this was the time when Indian Idol was very popular. And so I was looking at like lakhs of people standing in the queues and then trying their voice and then getting rejected. So we thought, why can't people just call a 1800 number and sing a song there and we'll have some DSP app which will listen to it and tell you whether you proceed to the next round or not. So that was the second hypothesis project.
You did not
Third,
sell it to Indian Idol.
Indian Idol, we wanted to, but and then the third project was we at that time Twitter was had just come up with the APIs, and 2011-12, and we thought, can we listen to real-time tweets of brands and see how people are conversing about these brands? And Twitter at that time was becoming a place where people were coming and bashing brands. Just the beginning of that era when customer support on Twitter was just emerging. So these were the three projects we started, and we said, look, we're going to spend 2 to 3 months, and whichever projects give us the best headway, we'll build the company around that. And so the Twitter one is I think at that time there was a Cyber Monday, Cyber Friday. What is
Black
that Friday?
Friday,
Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
all of them are there.
Traffic was there, so we were listening to a lot of tweets, and we saw people complaining about the products which the brands were trying to sell, and brands had no way to respond back to or understand how many people were responding, how many people had negative emotions about their brands. So it looked like there's a good space in the market where can we build solutions for brands where they can understand what's happening on social media and also build customer support on top of social media. And that led to the beginning of the Airwoot journey. And we built a company out of that.
Were you one of the first ones? I think at that time all I can think of is Hootsuite, but that was also sending and scheduling tweets and
Correct.
not really
Absolutely.
listening.
Absolutely. So Hootsuite was one of the competitors that we had.
Hootsuite had a social listening.
But we turned the company into an enterprise first company so that we could work with large enterprises and then give them a complete customer support, ticketing, and a sentiment analysis kind of a solution.
Oh, that's when the merger became or acquisition became a no-brainer for Freshworks.
For Freshworks, yeah. So we were at some point competing with Freshworks as well, because the moment you get into ticketing, the Freshdesk also wanted to build around something on social. And we were popular in Indian brands at that time: ClearTrip, Jet Airways, Make My Trip, Paytm, Snapdeals. They were all using GoIbibos. They were all using Plum at that time. And so I think the journey lasted for about close to 3.5 years. And I was on a roadshow in US looking out for our next round of funding. This is when I got introduced to Girish. And, Girish is a master storyteller. And I thought it's also a great opportunity for us to, rather than compete with Freshdesk and get into a full-fledged ticketing, I thought it was a great opportunity to go learn from the really what I call Freshworks for me was a school of SaaS, and within first few weeks of spending time in Freshworks, I knew what all wrongs we were doing while running Airwoot.
Oh, very cool. So you need to tell me about what are these learnings that you got from Airwoot that you have applied on Plum? You can censor some of them, but some. I also want to know about. And you ran product when you joined Freshworks.
Freshworks, yeah.
Right. So I have questions around that.
Yeah. Learnings on Airwoot, I think, some of those learnings are still dear to me, close to me, which is, it was a really lean team. We were like a 7-8 people team.
This is after acquisition or before acquisition?
This is before acquisition, and then after acquisition, we had a much bigger team in Freshworks. But this was just like a 7-8 people team, and I truly believe lean teams could do mean things. So that philosophy is still close to me. Today Plum is close to about a 500 people company now, but our engineering team is still 25. And this team takes care of all road mapping on the customer side. Plus, we also believe that these 500 people, the employees of the Plum, are also our customers, because we are building a lot of internal tools for them. We are bringing a lot more efficiencies to the team as well. So this 25 people team is right now handling both external and internal customers.
That's pretty kick-ass. So what does your day look like, man?
How does my day look like? Yeah, look, I have not just wearing a CTO hat. I'm also wearing a co-founder hat. But uh, one aspect of the day is execution focus. Uh, think about roadmap planning to roadmap execution. Beginning of quarters, beginning of half yearlies, beginning of years is a lot of planning intensive work. And then the rest of the motions are execution work. And I also believe, Jeet, that if there is any moat that a startup has, it is speed of execution. If we could just take more shots at the goal and keep iterating much faster, I think we'll stay ahead of everything. So my obsession is speed of execution once the planning is finished, and there I would spend time in bi-weekly sprint check-ins or any sort of unblocking in release planning, uh, or to some time like the last couple of weeks I did one-on-one sessions, like longer 3 to 4 hour sessions with engineers, wipe coding some features which we had estimated for few weeks, which we finished in few hours. So it could go anywhere from high level to all the way to sitting and wipe coding with devs. This is one sort of workload which will consume the day of planning and execution. Second is people, and people is important. Talent is also an important moat, and people. I would have two sorts of motions with people. One could be one-on-ones, and another
Without
generally
coding.
are
Without coding.
without coding. Yeah.
Okay.
These are one-on-ones where this could be anywhere between therapy sessions to growth sessions. But another motions of people is skip levels, and I really want to keep my ears on the ground of how people who report to people to managers who are reporting to me, how are they feeling it? Is there a information gap uh, between the managers and their reportees? So skip levels help me surface some of those gaps and address them very quickly. um, yeah and then from an org standpoint, both me and Abhishek, my co-founder, we would have functional check-ins. And my approach to functional check-ins is some check-ins are divergent, means that I'm learning the truth. These check-ins are for me to get to know what is the truth, what is the data saying, what is the hypotheses, what metrics are saying.
Discovery.
So discovery. And then some check-ins are closures and converging and decision making. So now we have all the data, let's move, and these are the decisions that we want to take. So I look at the lens of our check-ins and I know going into the meeting whether this is a divergent or a convergent meeting.
Okay, very cool. So you said vibe coding and largely pair programming in vibe coding.
Yeah.
How has your team adopted the whole GenAI?
Yeah.
And especially in regulated environment, I don't know if regulated environment affects you at all.
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
Yeah. I think we got into the AI wave very early. Some of my exposure from my last company as well, it was an ML first company. We didn't used to call it AI back then. Classical statistical machine learning.
Data science, no?
Data science is of course part of all sorts of data preparation, not from an analytics lens.
You call it ML or
ML.
Okay.
ML, but if you look at the pipeline of ML, the data preparation, cleansing, feature discoveries, etc., would overlap with data science. But so I had some early exposure. I was watching the space of how ChatGPT exploded in the earlier. I think it was. It's hard to remember now. What was it? 22 when it started.
21-22.
And we got on very early. Whenever the APIs got released, and people were complaining about hallucinations at that time. and we were able to steer, build some good guardrails, followed some cutting edge research papers at that time of how to steer and how to ground our responses. And we were able to build a production quality chat interface. Today it's a very mature system. It's called Policy GPT. And so very early on, the team got inside what the LLMs are capable of and how to run a production ready LLMs and how to do good evals. So today, fast forward now, we have LLM projects across the company in various places. From a regulatory standpoint, there are important prescriptions that we tell to the team members, and we build some guardrails around that. And these are particularly around PIIs. And we have been able to create recipes of how not to open up PIIs and still continue to build high quality LLM production grade LLMs.
Yeah. Okay. So these are public LLM APIs that you're fine tuning and then using, or these are self-hosted LLMs that
we're using frontier models. OpenAI is one of our biggest API stack, and then Anthropic's. We are heavy on Anthropic as well. We are experimenting Gemini for some use cases, but my learning is that all of these frontier models in 3 to 6 months come at similar places. So I don't get a lot of FOMO whenever a benchmark is crossed by a frontier model. And I know that the frontier model that we are on will catch up in any way in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. The effort of porting may be too high.
Yeah, effort of porting is too high because you've built very customized prompts to work for that kind of a model. So you do prompt iterations, but I'm not a fan of switching models just because a benchmark is crossed.
So I'll get back to our discussion on Airwoot, Freshworks. You ran product. How does that affect your life? And I have a side question on this. Do you recommend all CTOs to run product at least once in their life?
Yeah, I do think, before we get into CTOs, generally I think about engineers, that engineers need to stay close to the problem and the customer's problem here. And that is not just the job of a product manager to surface out the customer problems. Also, I truly love working with engineers who are like a product engineers, who can do full stack, both front end and back ends.
You also need hardware, at least that's what you said earlier.
What kind of a hardware?
The one that people can blow in and stuff, right? That's how you started your journey.
Yeah, which is like put as many disciplines together and you should be able to juggle it. But truly, product engineers are who could think customers, who could think, who are not dependent on what is a good design or waiting for a designer to give them inputs. And they can have really highest leverage in startups if they can think end to end, right from the customer's need to how to make that happen. And to me, product is that, which is figure out what is the right demand of the customer, what is the right needs of the customer, what are their problems, figure out how the form and function will work together, and then make it happen. And I think especially in this time with the AI era, if you are a very back-end heavy developer, you could use AI to complement on the front-end side. Similarly, vice versa, if you're a very React deep developer, you could complement your back-end skills with an AI copilot. But what you still need to develop on your own is how do you listen to customers? What do you say this is actually the need or not? And then what is the form, which is the taste to make that happen? There's one more nuance to understanding the needs of the customer is generally the mental models. And I truly believe that as a good product person, whether it's a product engineer or a CTO or a product manager, uh, if you just go to the customer and say, what do you want? This is not what you're bringing as a need. If you have the right mental models of how the world works, and then you ask the customer what you want, you'll be able to filter the right things and give them what they want.
Give me an example, Saurabh.
Yeah, like for example, think about you want to build an MVP for a new product that you're launching.
Yeah.
How do you decide what is the MVP? To me, MVP is shortest time to highest impact.
Okay.
That starts generating a feedback loop between you and the customer. And just to think that what is the right MVP, you would see a lot of people struggle that how do I cut out the project scope? Is this, should I put this into phases? This is my phase 1, this is my phase 2, this is my phase 3. Should I approach a POC? There's a very popular term, let's do a proof of concept or an MVP framework. But if you cut all of this, what you want to do is you want to generate a feedback loop between you and the customer. You want to solve one important pain point of a customer. And then what is the shortest time that you could get in this feedback loop with them?
So between your MVP, minimum usable product, and minimum lovable product, you seem to be on the usable plus feedback loop should start.
Absolutely. Viability, that you have pain point. Here is a way to solve that pain point. Work on this. Tell me what is the next thing. So that feedback loop cannot wait for 3 months.
So the question here is, in a team of these 25 highly empowered product engineer, what role does a pure product manager play for you?
It's up for grab now, but no. 3 things. One, truly identifying what is that MVP, and then MVP is not just. Then you starts the process of rapid iteration. The product is not going to be MVP. MVP is just the loop between you and the customer, and a product is conversing and facilitating that loop. What follows is rapid iterations after that. And that iteration loop is super important. So as a product manager, to identify that MVP and then understanding what iterations I have to do and how to do that iterations, this is one aspect. Second aspect is a product manager should be able to, when they write product documentation, they should condense all the information into what I call as low verbose, compressed high density information. Don't give us 15 pages of your discovery story. No, your job is to just compress everything. And really good PRDs are 1 or 2 pages where you have really high density, high compressed, less verbose information given to the engineering person of what to be built now. So that's second part, which is high density information. Third is the world is already super complex. The reality around us is already complex. Can you simplify this complexity and simplify it for the user, simplify it for the engineer to build? But your game is to simplify the world and abstract out all these complexities and translate how simplicity, with simplicity you can solve a problem. So these trifecta is what I look out for in product managers. And I'm a little skeptic of how young product managers will handle that. As a seasoned product managers who have seen multiple iterations of this feedback loop, I think they have world model which is evolving, their mental models are evolved. And they will be able to translate what I'm asking for But I would be I'm generally right now skeptic of young product managers, but I have hope.
Yeah. How will people become seasoned product manager if they don't start the journey?
Yeah, it's tough, Jeet. No, the AI is changing a lot of things for us. It's resetting how we work. It's resetting how we will live. So it is going to reset some of our jobs as well. I think if you're a young product manager who is starting, you either be on two sides. Choose your side very carefully, and it should be innate as well. Either you are a technical product manager, you are a person who could code and want to be a product manager, understands engineering good. Maybe preferably you have worked in engineering for 3-4 years and now you're moving into product, or you are a product manager who brings taste, who brings the farm, who brings who is very design centric, user research centric. So you have to pick either of these two sides, or you're already a seasoned product manager.
What are the top two achievements in tech achievements that you are proud of in Plum?
Yeah. Look, I'll give you an understanding of what space that we work with. We are a broker tech, and truly in India, an employee benefits or a broker tech playbook didn't exist. And what does it mean to be a broker? It means and a broker who takes care of the end-to-end experience of insurance claims, particularly, and we do healthcare as well. But this the tech that we have built in the last years, and I'll tell you more about it. So, on one side, we have corporates. And these are corporates. We have today close to about 6,000 corporates who are insured with Plum, and these corporates could be anywhere between SMEs, mid markets, enterprises, and India is a very fragmented market when it comes to system of records for employees. Think about HRISs, think about payrolls. These all system of records are very fragmented. There are about hundreds of them when it comes to what HRIS a company is using and what payrolls a company is using. So on one side, we have to do syncing of system of records of corporates, all sorts of flavors of system of records. And on another side, we have insurers, and we work with all sorts of insurers. We have close to about 15 insurance partnerships. And insurance companies also, they have their own ways of doing business, which includes how do they write policies. There are no standards of how corporate employee insurance policies are written. These are legal documents. These have terms and conditions, and every term and condition is up for a price. So you could introduce really new terms and conditions that you haven't seen before. And they have different systems for claims. They have different terminologies for or stages of claims. They have different payment processes. Another analogy is if you were let's say a fintech company, you would generally see you would go deep with one bank, and you would build let's say a neobank or some features on top of that deeply integrated bank. Here we have to go deep with 15 insurance companies. So this is on one side
There are no
is
standards or protocols that insurance company has.
there's no standard of protocols. IRDA doesn't govern how a protocol of a policy placements or policies. Policy needs to be written. There is a standard policy document. This is called Sanjeevani Arogya policy, which is for consumers to understand what does a general health insurance policy should entail. But it's a contract between a corporate and insurance company, and there is a risk pricing. So you could include anything in that document at a price of a risk. So the complexity on one side is system of records, which are very fragmented. Complexity on the other side is all insurance companies and their nuances of handling an insurance policies, management and claims, payments, etc. as well. And we as a broker tech, we have to build a unified, consistent experience for the end user, which is the employee.
Yeah, you're encapsulating all of this.
And we are encapsulating all of this. And we have to, we have, and we are onboarding, like we have 6,000 of corporates. We can't make them stand at the onboarding. We have to build systems in a way that is adjudication ready. So when you come for a claim, your adjudications, at the time of the adjudication, we should know what your sublimits are. And in policy as well, I'll give you a quick idea on the policy itself, which is, what is a policy? A policy constitutes of certain terms and conditions. It has insurance coverage, which is, do you get a 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs of a coverage? You have room rents, which is what kind of a room you could choose when you go to a hospital. Are you entitled to a single AC room? Are you entitled to a shared room? Are you entitled to a deluxe room, a luxury room? So you could choose your rooms. If you violate your rooms, your hospital bills will be way off. So your complete hospitalization bill depends on what kind of a room rents do you choose. So important part of the policy condition. There are maternities. You have limits on maternities, what kind of reimbursements or claims that you could get on maternity. There are disease-wise sublimits. You could start punching in diseases and say, I want cataract limit to be this. I want LASIK limits to be this. I want this kind of a operation and this kind of a limit. There are treatments, and basis on what kind of treatments, there could be copays or deductions to those treatments. For example, if you go for a robotic treatment, which are generally a lot more expensive than non-robotic treatments as of today, there could be up to a 50% copay on that robotic treatment, right? So now, and this is completely evolving. Diseases are evolving, limits are evolving, your copays are changing. So this is one side, which is the policy conditions.
I like your policy GPT idea.
Now you're seeing the power of that.
I want to put my policy in Notebook LLM and ask questions.
Yeah. And on the corporate side, similarly, Jitendra, which is how can a corporate defines workflows for their employees? For example, you could say, if on a tenure basis, if an employee has spent more than 3 years with the corporate would like to give this kind of a benefit to them. If you have spent less than 1 year, this kind of a benefit. Another access could be age. If your age is greater than this, give this kind of a health checkup, this kind of a insurance, and this kind of a benefit. You could have designation based as well. So you could take any part of the employee graph and you could build workflow rules of what kind of an insurance policy or an employee benefits program this employee should have. So this is one part. Corporate could also say, I'm giving you a 50,000 rupee wallet, and now you could customize your insurance plan and spend this 50,000 rupee wallet in the way you want. So I give 50,000 for every employee, but they can, at the time of enrollment, customize their insurance plans to their needs. So this way, workflow rules, different system of records from corporates, and then different insurance manufacturers, which have different ways of policy terminologies, placements, payment collections, endorsement, which is additions of deletions of employees as they're joining and exiting the companies, and then the claims adjudication. And we have to build a system which unifies all of it. So we have like this massive middleware, which we've been able to codify. It's a benefits engine that we have built, which brings together the corporate rules and the different insurance configurations and build a consistent experience for a member who is going for claims.
Top 2 achievements in this.
This in itself, it's in our third iteration today. This policy configuration benefit system that we have built, and it's battle tested now. Now we are able to codify unseen insurance policies without any engineering help. And we are able to run a truly world-class enrollment program. And I've seen in US, there are companies which are just enrollment companies. And enrollment is a feature for us now. So we've been able to build a very flexible benefit enrollment program and policy codification system here.
Are you planning to move to other geographies, since you mentioned US, an obvious question for me?
It is part of the plan, but right now we are super focused on India. India is a massive market. It's a market which is growing 23% compounded annual growth rate year on year, and we are still 0.7% of the total India market. So we have a lot more to do in India, but we also know that the similar kind of a solution is applicable in other countries outside India. We have an eye for that, but we haven't put a timeline yet.
Question for you personally.
Yeah.
How do your direct reportees and the larger Plum team, how will they describe Saurabh?
This is a very tricky question. You're asking me to be
See,
self-aware.
we have discussed you like speed, we have discussed you like experimentation, and
Yeah.
you've done product, right? I want to see
Yeah.
what
Yeah, I hope this is true, and I hope that I'm self-aware to call these out. But so one is that I do think that they believe he's a systems thinker, and he will ask us penetrating questions on how far the system will go and when it will break. So our conversation generally is very holistic when we are looking at any sort of a tech reviews and all. So that's one. Second, I think I'm very low on tolerance, very high on patience. I know this kind of an impact take decades to come, but on that day when things are breaking, or why is it not yet finished, and what is the blocker, I have very low tolerance there. So yeah, maybe these two aspects.
Decently self-aware then. you have a pass in my book. I don't know what your people. All right. Now, talking about Plum. So one is, are there other brokers, or was there a regulatory change that made Plum happen, and were there other regulatory change that kind of became tailwind for you?
Yeah, I think why Plum happened in its first place itself. Maybe I could give you a quick background story to that, and we can talk about regulatory things as well, which is, and I had moved out of Freshworks after close to 2.5 years. I think I had learned a bunch of things, and I had a golden handcuff period, and I came out of that. I was looking at next opportunities. I was super close to this idea of people stack, and I truly believe that these are the people who are going to build the world-class products, but who are going to build for people. And when I say people stack, I was looking at HRIS's system of records. I was looking at performance reviews, and similarly in the same space, my co-founder Abhishek was also looking at people stack, and we were looking at employee benefits as well. And one of our common VC friend, he said, "Look, you both are looking at some similar kind of problems. Why don't you talk to each other and see?" And that's how we got connected, and we started looking at the people stack together. We looked at accounting as well, and employee benefits, and we had access to a lot of friends in Bangalore circuit, and we would have met close to about 50 to 100 HRs and founders who were running their employee benefits operations, and we would ask them how are you procuring insurances, and especially in employee benefits, the biggest pie of employee benefit is health insurance, employee insurance. And so how are they procuring? Are employees satisfied? Do they even know that you have an insurance program? And how are they using it? is the claims, are they satisfied with the claims process and experience? And on the other side, we were taking flights and spending time with the insurance companies and trying to understand what is their distribution problems. And what we were seeing is that the small companies at that time didn't have any simple way to procure insurance benefits for their employees. It was a very opaque process. I had to go through quotation systems and go and back forth, go on quotation and negotiate. Underwriters of insurance companies were focused on bigger companies because that's bigger ticket size. They were not looking at 50 people or 20 people company. They had worries about frauds happening in small companies, because in small companies there is no way to establish that this is the employee of this company through any sort of central government rails. There's a EPFO which has a certain criteria, like 25 people plus 19 or 20 people should be above, and then the EPFO filings are slow. Some people do it, some people don't do it. So really truly that rails didn't exist, and it was a very opaque process. So we saw this as an opportunity. We went in and we started building real-time live engines of looking at your quotes and purchasing the policies and getting activating your insurance plans for your employees. That was the entry point. We knew this is going to be a regulatory space, and one thing that Abhishek and I did very early on was to play good with the regulation, understand the regulation, and start building with the regulators. I remember we took flights to Hyderabad, introduced ourselves to the regulator. We got our broker license very quickly. We were a corporate agent in the beginning, and then we very soon realized that we should take a broker license and work with more insurance companies. And on the regulation, my view is that can you make regulatory bodies as one of your building stakeholders, and collaborate with them and co-create with them very early on, introduce yourself, build that trust, and then play on the good lines of regulation.
And was there a change anywhere that made life easier on the regulatory side?
Actually, yes. This happened maybe 2.5 years back.
Okay.
And one of the regulatory term was that a broker can only get 7% of the commission.
Okay.
Right. So, which is our revenue is getting capped by a commission percentage.
And
And
is different from corporate agent, or is the same?
It's same for corporate agent as well. The restriction, the change between a corporate agent and a broker is generally that corporate agent can only work with 3 health insurers, 3 life insurers, and 3 general insurers. So it restricts the pool of 9 insurers to corporate agent. I think now that is also relaxed to 9 plus 9 plus 9. And the broker, on the other hand, can work with as many. And there are some more leverage that brokers generally get. So 7% cap on our revenue. And the way the industry was navigating that cap was doing, some sort of gray commercial agreements with insurance companies, like a marketing fee or this fee or that fee. And so this space had a very poor hygiene of the books. And 2.5 years back, the regulator came and said, no cap. You and insurance company figure out how much you want to make. And I think that's a great leverage, because the kind of experience and investment that we are doing in the technology and how we are changing how you experience claims and healthcare, I think we deserve more. And this was like a really great unlock for us and for the industry, where we could say that if we make more money for an insurance manufacturer, we will take more money home as well.
All right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Earlier, the best in the industry could only get 7%.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
Now, if you can prove you're better than the rest of the industry, then
absolutely
people can, and depending on whether you're able to negotiate, but still, it's not hard cap. Okay,
correct.
Cool. So, you mentioned you're working on HRIS, other system of records, accounting.
Yeah.
Now, if looking at today, and if you did not start Plum at that time,
Yeah.
which of these, which of these were like second closest to being Plum?
Ooh.
And
In today's time,
not at that time.
not at that time. Today's time.
Today's time.
Today's time. I think I would not go and look back anything because Jiten, the world is resetting as we speak.
Yeah.
The rules of how we work, how we live, how we play, how we build an organization, and how an organization creates products, it is all up for reset now. And I think I'm a lot more ambitious of what you could do from here. Look, Plum is here to stay, and a company like Plum will outlive all of us. I can tell you that. And
That's
that's how we are building it.
Yeah.
But if I were not doing Plum today, I would look at some of more interesting hard problems as well. I'm very keen on longevity. I think there are certain diseases that cuts our life in short. And they call these diseases as 4 horsemen.
Okay.
Who will come and take your life away.
There are 4 of them.
There are 4 of them, like major classes. One is cancer. Second is cardiovascular, like heart disease.
Yeah.
Third is neurodegenerative disease. You may have, if you have Parkinson's, dementia, your life is not a quality life to live. Metabolic disorders. Generally, metabolic disorders lead to various other problems. You start with a diabetes in 2000 and you die of a heart attack in 2020. But what started of your degeneration was a metabolic disorder 20 years back. But you died of a cancer and got attribute for cancer. But metabolic disease is a really important one. So longevity is about figuring out how to prevent these diseases, one, or cure these disease. And I think both phenomena are happening as the science is rapidly progressing, and how AI hopefully will start impacting some of the frontier science research as well, of how we do drug discoveries and how we cure some of these horsemen and cancer diseases and all. So I would be very keen on working on longevity. I'm also very keen on this idea of Earth observation. This is a planet, and we can push a lot of satellites around our orbits and start learning a lot more about how our planet works. I'm generally surprised that the typhoons, etc., they come and people are not ready, or the seismic activities which create earthquakes, and which is, we understand so less about this planet. So Earth observation, I think, has a really powerful impact and opportunity to improve the quality of life as well. Yeah, I can go on, but there are so many interesting problems to solve today. I don't want to go back.
Question, maybe a related question.
Yeah.
I stalked you on LinkedIn before. We said, okay, we'll shoot this together.
Okay.
What's something that people will not get from your LinkedIn?
Ooh, yeah. I have a crazy fascination for music. I think music is...
The 2 of your ideas were music, so I guessed it.
Yeah. Actually, that was my co-founder back then as well. But this, I think music is a really profound human experience. If you go back all the way in humanity, in our cultures, music has been like a constant across cultures. Doesn't matter whether you were in South America or you were in India or some parts of Africa. Africa has really interesting musical instruments as well. So music is very profound, very human experience. And so what you would not know on my LinkedIn is that I collect a lot of instruments, and I have everything from electronic to obscure instruments that I picked up from around the world. I have synthesizers where I would create sounds, sometimes noise, sometimes music. I like wind instruments. I have trumpets. And I'm these days, trumpet is a new one I picked in the last year.
You're on SoundCloud? Or?
No. I mean, I'm not creating for anybody. I'm creating for myself, yeah, maybe SoundCloud someday. But this pursuit is to create something out of nothing, and just to see that really powerful, profound experience of staying in the music. So trumpet, I'm actually trumpet. I'm learning with AI now. I'm vibe coding an app which is a trumpet listener and a teacher. I have a teacher who is based out of Oman. We do virtual classes. His name is Adrian, and so whatever Adrian teaches me in the course, I vibe code his learnings and create a practice app or improve my practice app with Adrian that I call that as a virtual Adrian tutor app. And some instruments which are lying at home, which create some really interesting sounds.
Tell me the 3 unique ones that you picked up.
Yeah, there is one which is it's a cylindrical like a wooden rod, and it has a hollow pipe in it, a air chamber in it, and at one side there's a mouthpiece which is put. It's a metal mouthpiece, and I picked this up from a shop in Mysore. Okay. And what you do with this instrument is that you move it around. Okay. And you're creating a wind tunnel, and on the other side of the mouthpiece there is very musical subtle sounds that are coming. And so it is just the air and the movement of your hand is creating that really nice sound.
How do the notes happen in that one?
So this is a single note, or maybe some 2-3 variations of the note basis on velocity, how you're moving it, velocity. So it's a musical instrument. Maybe as part of a jam you will be able to add to it, but it is not creating a specific notes. I mean, I'm sure you could write some notes for this as well, but that's that I keep it in the home in my next to desk, and I would often go to this, move it around, hear the sound, keep it back, and get back to work. So that's one. Second is one of my favorite. Is a electronic synth. It's called OP1. It is done by a Swedish design and music research lab called Teenage Engineering. This is also a lab which worked on the design part of Nothing phones. So if you see the design language of Nothing phones, it's coming from Teenage Engineering. And what they have done is put together a synthesizer which has physics engine, and there are synth engines and there are drum engines. So basically, if you want to create a music, what do you need? You need some sound which is coming out. Generally, these could be drum beats, or this could be the synth sounds, which is let's say frequencies which would complement the drum beats. So there's synth, there is drum, and then you could put some effects on it, and then you could put it into a sequencer. So sequencer is what will create loops. Yeah. So this instrument has a visual LCD, and each of the synth engines is a game, and then you have knobs. So one of the game, for example, is a cow, and a cow is taking the wind inside. And when I say game, it's basically an interactive visual, which is encapsulating some sort of a physics concept of creating a sound. And what you're doing is you're playing with the colored knobs, and you're changing how much cow is ingesting the wind and how much it is pooping out. It's a
Okay.
but and what kind of harmonics you want along with it. So you want more layered sound, you want less layered sound, you want more wind, you want less wind, and then you're changing attack, delay, sustain kind of a signature, which is when a key is pressed. Is the attack quick happens or the attack slowly happens?
Oh,
So
okay.
in a piano you would see you could change the velocity of the keys pressed. So you could do this ADSR envelope, which means you could shape the sounds. So once you choose a sound through a synth engine, then you shape the sound, and then you add some filter effects on the sound, and then you put into a sequence. You create one track, and then you add another track, and then you add another track, and then you get into a tape mode, and then you start DJing the tape mode. You created something which is out of the thin air, but this kind of an instrument, I think it just makes music a lot more accessible through a really great design language, but a really powerful physics engines that they have built for sounds.
Yeah. We have covered two.
Huh?
We have covered two.
We have covered two. The third one is do you know this store called Sarvam? Are you aware of the concept of Auroville?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Pondicherry Orwell.
Pondicherry Auroville.
Yeah, okay.
There's a shop in, actually not a shop, it's a musical factory in Auroville. It's called Sarvam.
Okay. I
And
missed it.
and these guys, they have a concept of creating sound from various things around you. For example, they have a stone, and this is sort of a marble stone, and which has cuts inside it. So there's a wind tunnels between the stones, and then you can put some water on it, and then you use your hand to rub it, and it creates the wave oscillations between the sleeves of the stone, and it creates a very powerful harmonic sound which you could do.
And you have it? You got one at home?
Yes, it's a small one, and I think they have close to about 50 or so instruments around these. I think their concept is also to make a lot more music accessible. I have that. There's a bird instrument as well, which I could put on my nose and blow a whistle, and it's the sound of the bird.
Can it imitate more than one bird, or
Just one bird, but it's a squeaky sound of a bird.
Okay.
So if you play through that instrument, and if somebody else is hearing it, they'll not know this is an instrument. They'll think there's a bird around them. So they've been able to create a bird sound through the wind tunnel system with that wood.
Have you run it through BirdNet to see which bird is recognized?
No, I haven't. I'm not a birder guy, but that'll be interesting. Yeah.
Both Merlin and BirdNet can now recognize sounds. So try it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Are they using some AI models for that?
Yeah. BirdNet was very old. Merlin recently added
I see.
sound. So
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah. I would love to. I'll check this out. Yeah. This reminds me of Google DeepMinds. One of the new projects there is listening to and communicating to dolphins.
Oh my God.
Have you heard of that?
No, I'm afraid they'll say thanks. Bye. Thanks for all the fish.
There is a LLM that they have built to translate, because you can, right? Because
you
it's
can.
a speech synthesis
Sequence.
So now they are taking this and trying to communicate with animals, and their first one is dolphin. The next one they're working on is dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so amazing if we can chat with birds, dolphins, fishes, and our pets? I think that's coming very real.
That's a big one. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two more rounds.
Yeah,
Before that, I'll ask one question. That's what's the most overrated startup advice you hear?
Phew. There is a notion, and it's in the name of speed, and I like speed, but there's a notion uh, called sort of break things, move fast, or move fast, break things. Right. The idea is to iterate, but it's okay. There will be some damage on the way. Things will break, but keep moving fast.
Okay.
I think, especially in the industry that we are in, we can't afford to create irresponsible experience for our members in the moment of their needs.
Yeah.
And those are very critical moments. We see members who are rushing their loved ones to emergency hospitalizations. We can't do an experiment of a cashless, card stage tracking, cashless facilitation for somebody who is walking into a hospital and in a distressed state. So for us, it's super important to be highly responsible and build engineering responsibly, do responsible engineering. So I'm all in for fast, but not break. And I think this should be true as the customer experience today across the world is meeting new bar. Sure, you could wipe code your way out. Over a weekend, you could build really powerful things. But then take responsibility of building and shipping right things as well.
Makes sense. Right. We have a rapid fire round.
Yeah. Yes.
Not changed questions a whole lot from my last one.
Okay.
AWS or GCP?
I'd say GCP. You know why we are stuck in GCP? We got in GCP very early on.
Do you feel stuck or you're happy with it?
Everybody in my company feels stuck, and we are finding our way out. But I think it's an opportunity to go multi-tenant now. But yeah, GCP got us very early on with some good mullahs.
Python or Java?
Python is my go-to programming. I like Java's design patterns, but and the paradigms, you learn different paradigms from different languages. But Python is my go-to. My first was C++, but Python is a go-to.
I thought most researchers stick to Python and just continue that.
Yeah, for especially in the era of machine learning, Python was your go-to ML stack.
Yeah. I started with C++. But most people I see Python or Java. Okay, cool.
We are same age, no? How old are you?
Not on the camera.
Not on the camera.
Anyways, ChatGPT or Gemini, you already gave me a preference for APIs, but for personal use.
Yeah, ChatGPT. I think it knows way too much about myself and it just works with me.
I thought Google knew everything about us. No? Not anymore?
Not anymore.
Okay. Tabs or spaces?
Tabs. That visual identification.
Now that you have dated yourself, Vim or Emacs?
Oh, wow. Okay, Vim.
All right.
I never get hang of Emacs,
are you using Vim today or move to VS Code and stuff like that?
Quick edits still happens in Vim. In terminal windows. But now I think there is a lot of work, especially for me. I'm spending a lot of time in Cursor.
All right, cool. And is that something that whole of Plum team is doing too?
Plum team is right now in a transition phase from, I would say, GitHub Copilot to, it looks like Cursor right now. There is
Not Cloud Code.
Cloud Code, some senior engineers do have access to Cloud Code as well. And we have done some really interesting experiments with Cloud Code too.
All right, cool. Hire for skill or culture. We had some discussion.
Culture for sure. I think skill can be earned or built, but culture.
Remote or hybrid?
In office with some good hybrid flexibility.
All right. Okay. Technical debt. Manage or rewrite?
Rewrite. Especially in this AI era.
Rewrite so easy?
Cut, delete as much code as you can, rewrite.
All right. Build in-house or buy off the shelf? You are now at a place where this is probably
if you would have asked me this a year before, I would say, it's still, you could say as conditional, but today I'm of a very good opinion of building. because the cost to build is just decreasing
Yeah.
fast, and you don't need to buy bloat. You could just build very precise workflow that you want.
Cool. So you already gave me answer to first programming language question.
Yeah.
So I'll ask whether you like debugging or writing new code.
I have a fascination with debugging. I'm a sort of a guy who likes to do investigation. I thrive on figuring out the truth, digging up on RCAs. So debugging just for the fun of it.
Nice. Okay. Biggest tech regret except GCP?
Some part of GCP itself, which is Firestore. I think we took up a decision to start as a Firestore as our core DB. And Jeet, you won't believe it has taken us person years to migrate out of that.
Oh.
I'm talking about person years.
Even with vibe coding?
Now with vibe coding, it's a separate thing, but we have already spent some person years in this migration effort. But wow.
Are you out of it?
Still not complete.
Okay. Most overhyped tech trend?
Has to be the crypto era. And especially during those times, there was initial coin offerings, ICOs. Every crypto coins were emerging and they were going for an ICO, the IPO equivalent of ICO, and there were a lot of scams that were happening. I'm super glad that era is done.
I thought that the era is coming back.
The crypto coins era, I hope that doesn't
It'll
come
be
in the
better
same
this time,
flavor.
hopefully.
Yeah. But AI to me is a very real hype.
Yeah, I mean, it adds value right away.
Absolutely.
There is a magic moment, aha moment.
Absolutely.
Everybody can experience it.
Correct. And it's changing so fast, and you know that every month, every day, every week, there is things happening and improving.
Yeah, correct. All right. I have a bunch of recommendations that I want from you. Who are your mentors or sounding boards, and how have they influenced your journey?
I recall two folks who I have access to, but generally I'm very like for the need basis. No, I mean, what is self coach? True, there is a lot of self learning, and I am a great believer of self learning as well. But I believe that lessons are everywhere, and if you could just approach people and learn from them, this is great. So there is no one go-to person, but try to reach out to as many people. But I still stay in touch with one of my ex-investor in my last company was Samir Guglani. He now runs a community and a accelerator and a sort of fund called Super Morpheus. And I go to him generally to think deeply about life and business generally, but he's on a path of when you're thinking business, how to build conscious businesses. And I think I do get some really honest conversations of the nature of building business and life also. So that's one. Second is a guy who taught me how to talk to customers, understand what customers want, and then sell them for a price. And this is his name is Rishi. He's an ex-Microsoft veteran, and he and I used to go together in my last company to do enterprise sales. And just watching him break ice with customers and then understand, how to create a value propositions for their needs has taught me a great deal in business building as well.
Super. Any books, podcasts that have deeply influenced your thinking?
I'm open to what new things are happening on the podcast scene. There is so much to access.
Yeah.
My drive from home to office is about 30 minutes, and this is perfect for a podcast length. So
I can't believe there is somebody who can travel in 30 minutes anywhere in Bangalore.
My advice is everybody should stay at least at a 30 minutes distance, not less than that, not more than that, because then you would fit right in the podcast lengths here. And now the podcasts are becoming an hour, but so each commute on going and coming back, I am on podcasts. For AI, I really like there is a AI daily podcast. I'm forgetting the name of the person. Maybe we'll find it and share it. And that's in my favorites. So it's a daily podcast, and the AI field is so rapidly evolving
Yeah, you need an early one
that
there.
just 15 minutes version of the daily of what happened yesterday is and this person brings together like a good technical concept of what changed. Sometimes he's looking at some of the papers as well, and what is the large frontier models movements, some business ideas as well. So it's a compressed learning of what happened in the AI scene. That 15 minutes is like a really good wrap for me to stay on top. I am generally a very curious person when it comes to existence and reality, and I am in pursuit of truly knowing what reality is and what existence is. So then I would have like my YouTube now is like a, you know how YouTube recommendations are. It's so powerful and so crazy. And so my YouTube channels now are filled with how to understand realities and existence deeply. And there's a very powerful channel on YouTube called Think. Really high quality production videos and really high quality speakers. And then they bring these people together for 10-15 minutes. And that's a very powerful concept that I generally look forward to. Books. I'm right now looking at Charlie Munger, the Poor Charlie's Almanac. I think the two things which I generally look out for is getting more mental models. The best way to learn mental models is to live and experience the world. The second best is to read and acquire them. So Munger's models are really powerful, displayed in Almanac. There is Farnham Street, which does very principal mental models. I think they have 3 or 4 books now. I have 3 of them, which is one is these are like 10 mental models that govern the world. Then there are physics mental models. Then there are mathematics mental models. And then there are biological mental models. No, it's not biological. It's systems, system mental model, like systemic, how systems work. So between these 4 abstract mental models direction, I think there is a lot of power in understanding them and then deploying it in a day-to-day use. So I would recommend Farnham Street Mental Model book to everybody.
Super. All right. We are at the end. Last question for you. What will be your advice for engineers who are thinking of starting up or engineers who are starting their career?
Starting their career or starting up?
Both, yeah.
If
early career engineers who are thinking, hey, let me start up.
Yeah, I think if you're starting your career, I would say there is some re-evaluation of, how you get into engineering. For example, the lead coding. I'm questioning myself. I also don't know whether the concept of lead code preparation remains or not. Some of these algorithms will very easily be taken care by the AI systems. So should your thinking get into problem breaking, abstracting the problem in the right way, thinking about designing systems, and building and seeing what how the systems talk to each other and what is efficient and what is not, and creating, even within the app, seeing how the data flow is happening, how information flow is, schemas, etc., learning more about that.
You can go more abstract as
You can go more abstract as the machines take more of the lower work. We are talking about an analogy of assembly languages to programming languages,
frameworks.
and now, is English the new programming language? Then hone your English, or know how to work with the AI systems better. So I'm of a recommendation that don't over-index on cramming lead code. Over-index on general problem solving. So that's for new engineers, and the best way is to build. The best way to learn is to build. And today you could build for yourself. You could just think of the problems that you're facing today, and over a night, in few hours, you could start building for yourself. Then on, you're saying the engineers who want to start up. Yeah. For engineers who want to start up, I think, again, what a great time. I would say pick a problem, build a solution over a weekend, get this into the hands of 10 customers or 10 people who will be using it, and do not do anything until the 10 people uses it. If that doesn't work, figure out another problem, build something for 10 people who could use it. But this iteration, the build cost has come down so drastically that if you want to start up, there is no, the barrier to entry is really low for you to create some solution and get to the users quickly.
Yeah, correct. Saurabh, that's it from my side. Thank you so much. This has been good for me. I learned a lot about insurance tech, if nothing else. I love the musical instruments that you have. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Jeet, for inviting. Great conversation.
Cool. You're done.